We are all part of the ITSM Gen AI product team here at ServiceNow, and we have a very exciting agenda for you all today. So I'm going to kick us off, go through a few slides just to cover some background and context on Now Assist for ITSM. Then I'll hand it off to Laura to give you guys a live demo of some of the features that are out there today. And then Gokul will bring us home by showing us a more in-depth walkthrough of how to use our new LLM topic migration tool for the virtual agent. This is really aimed at helping our current NLU virtual agent customers switch over to the new Now Assist LLM-powered virtual agent. So let's do a quick safe harbor. So we may discuss some new unreleased features today. And so as always, the safe harbor applies. And let's get right into it. So why did we create Now Assist? So one of the most common pieces of feedback that we hear from our customers is that organizations now are being pressed more and more to increase productivity while also maintaining an exceptional user experience. And this is becoming more and more mission critical for admins, for leaders within an organization. And this is why we are now leveraging Gen AI to tackle some of the specific ITSM pain points that a lot of our customers are facing. So that includes limited self-service. Users can't really get the right content to self-serve. And then also helping agents get up to speed. We really try and help agents consume and produce content more quickly. And that also includes documenting the right steps and solutions to make life easier down the line for any other agents that face a similar issue. So how do we help customers do this? We actually do this by weaving Now Assist or Gen AI into all of our applications and workflows. And we start by streamlining the incident resolution process. And then we work to automate the creation of self-service content, such as knowledge articles. And that in turn boosts self-service by providing users better answers to the queries that they are inputting into the employee center, into the virtual agent, and really helping that deflection rate go up. And lastly, these are the 5 outcomes that we are using Gen AI to drive for our customers. We talked about increasing self-service just now. We also aim to reduce the time it takes for agents to resolve incidents, improving the service quality that agents provide to end users, and also making a better experience for both agents and end users. And ultimately, from the standpoint of an admin or an owner, we're trying to lower the total cost of ownership by making it very easy and quick to deploy some of these solutions. So I won't bore you guys anymore with slides. Instead, I'm going to hand it off to Laura, who is going to show us a demo of some of these features in action and how they can help drive these 5 outcomes for our customers. So Laura, after you.
Thanks, Brian. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. But just an overview, I'm going to go over some of the really great features for Now Assistant AI Search and then Now Assistant Virtual Agent. And then I'm going to go over how there's a requester experience and the agent experience. So first, let's start off with a requester. So here's a requester named Storm, and we're going to help them through a variety of different issues. So first, they need some help connecting to their Office VPN. And so we're going to see how Now Assistant AI Search is going to help them self-serve. So as Storm, I'm going to go to my Employee Center, which I have open here. And I'm going to use the search bar here to type in my question, which is how to connect to the Office VPN on my iPhone. And what we're going to see is a generated result. This is going to increase my self-service as a requester because then I don't have to go through and navigate. So let me just refresh that. because then I don't have to go through and navigate. Okay, give me just 1 second. Let's try here. How to connect to Office VPN on iPhone. And so here, it's gathering all the different insights and it's going to give you a list of steps to follow. And that's going to make it so much easier for me as a requester to be able to solve these different items, these different questions that I have. So how this happens is we have this thing called RAG architecture, which is our retrieval augmented generation, and it takes all these different relevant articles, ranks them, and then it generates an answer from the most relevant articles, and it makes it easier for the requester to find their answer instead of having to search and search and read so many different articles to figure out what they need to do. So that's one way that Now Assistant AI Search is able to help requesters, and it makes it a much easier and more excellent experience for them. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how the Now Assistant Virtual Agent, I'm going to go back to my Employee Center, how it takes catalog items and makes them conversational. And what's really great about this is that it increases the self-service for our requesters, and it makes it a better experience for them because then it predefines entries. So I'll show you how this works. I'm going to go to my virtual agent here, and I need access to Miro, which is a really cool tool for visualization. So I need access to Miro, and I need it for a customer feedback session. So I'm going to type that in here, and what we're going to see is that the catalog item is right here generated in the virtual agent. I'm going to start that request. And when I start that request, it's going to take some of the information that it knows about me and predefine some of the areas. So for example, I'm logged in as Storm employee. It's going to take that as who it's requested for. So I'm going to proceed with yes. And then it's going to ask me for any other information that I didn't include that it needs to fill out that catalog item. So which division do you belong to? I belong in products. I'm going to type that. And if you notice, it didn't ask me for the business justification. That's because when I typed in my request, it used what I typed in to fill that spot. And so this makes it much easier because I don't have to go through the typical catalog item and fill out every single entry. Rather, whatever I put in, it helps to predefine. It makes it more efficient, it makes it faster, and it makes it a better experience because then I understand what information I need to put in as well through that conversational nature. So all I need to do now is press submit, and I'll get a confirmation that my request was submitted. So that's great. Now I'm all done submitting my catalog request. And so Now Assist for Virtual Agent can really help increase self-service because it makes these catalog items conversational. So now I'm going to show you how Now Assistant Virtual Agent uses LLM topics. So I'm going to start a new conversation and ask Storm, I need help setting my password, resetting it. So I'm going to write password reset. And what it's going to do is going to take that LLM topic, and I'm going to be able to complete this password reset through the virtual agent. So here's the LLM topic. I'm going to click reset password. And just like most companies, I need to verify my identity. So I'm going to go to my authentication app and type in my code to verify. And so if you notice that also like password enrollment is an LLM topic as well. And then I'm going to now add in my new password. So I can do this all through the virtual agent without having to go and navigate somewhere else to find this LLM topic. And so if you notice, now I have a new password. So after I'm done with my demo, Gokul is going to go over how to migrate LLM topics and how that's a really great low cost of ownership because you take the content that you already have and you can directly apply it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how the virtual agent helps to transfer a call or a chat to a live agent. I'm going to go here back to my just employee center. Actually, I'm just going to there. I'm going to open my virtual agent here. And this time I have a different problem. I'm having errors installing my data analysis pack into Excel. I'm going to type that into the virtual agent. So let's type that in. So I have this error installing this data analysis pack in Excel. And the virtual agent is going to try and generate some results to see if any of those can help me. And so here are some options. I'm going to scroll through them and see if any of these can help me with my request. But as you know, since we're going to be transferring to a live agent, in this scenario, none of these solutions can really help me with my request. I'm going to click on, let's search for more results. And when I search for more results, the virtual agent populates a knowledge base article called Excel functionality. I'm going to click on that to see if maybe this article might help. And as I read through it and read that little summary, I realize it's not really helpful for me. So I want to go back and I want to chat with a live agent, see if they can help me. I'm going to click on chat with a live agent, and now it's going to connect me. Now we're going to pivot over to the agent experience so you can see how Now Assist for ITSM helps them with increase their agent productivity, improve the service experience, and reduce the mean time to resolution. So I'm going to switch over to a tier 1 agent named Lakshmi. She's going to accept the chat over here. And the chat will populate. Okay. So here she can see the whole chat, but what's great about Now Assist for ITSM is this chat summarization feature. She doesn't have to scroll through and read every single message because that takes a lot of time. Instead, all she needs to do is read this chat summary to get caught up. This makes it easier for her to not repeat anything that the VA tried, and it makes it less frustrating for the requester because they're not told to do the same thing over and over again. So as Lakshmi, I'm going to read this. I see that Storm encountered an error installing a data analysis pack. I see that the virtual agent provided a link to an article, and then Storm requested to chat with the live agent, and now they're connected to me. Okay, that's perfect. So I see that they provided a link to a knowledge base article. I'm going to go and just check on that assumption that these knowledge base articles weren't helpful, just in case some information might have been missed. I'm going to use this tool over here called Agent Assist, and I'm going to just type in Excel and see if I get that same information that Storm was getting. When I click on Excel functionality, the KB article that they got, as I scroll through it, I'm realizing, yes, this really doesn't address Storm's problem. And it's also not really helpful to me in providing a solution for Storm. Since I'm a tier 1 agent, I don't have the expertise for this. So I need to create an incident. I'm going to close my Agent Assist. I'm going to click up here and create an incident so that I can transfer this over to a tier 2 agent that has more expertise on this and can provide a solution. So let's click on create incident. And as you can see, the incident populates on the left over here. And Now Assist is actually going to summarize the whole interaction and create the incident for me. This is saving me so much time and reducing the mean time to resolution because now I can route this over to a tier 2 agent much faster and help the requester solve their issue. So I'm going to go down here where it says assign to, and I'm going to assign it to a tier 2 agent. So as I go up here, you notice that the work notes help to just do a quick little summary of what this issue is, and I'm going to assign it to a Bell tutor who is a tier 2 agent. I'm going to click save. And now this incident is for our tier 2 agent. I'm going to let our requester Storm know. I'm going to let them know that I'm creating this, that I created this incident, and to please review it so that they can check for updates. So now I'm going to pivot over to our tier 2 agent, and you're going to see some other really cool features for analysis for ITSM. So I'm going to switch over to our tier 2, who is Abel. I'm going to refresh this so we can see our incident from Storm, which is right here. So we're going to see the incident that Lakshmi just populated. And if you notice up here, there's a great tool called Incident Summary by Now Assist. I'm going to click on Summarize to help get caught up to speed. And so Now Assist is going to summarize the incident and tell me some of the key actions that were taken, such as the incident was created. Lakshmi already let the requester know that they're going to transfer it over. And then I can continue to read down here to see what was done. So as the tier 2 agent, I have the expertise already to solve this. So I'm going to just provide a solution in the comments for our requester to read. So here are my solutions. I'm going to ask them to follow these steps to navigate to self-service, update their Office 365, etc. So I'm going to post these comments, and I'm just going to return to Storm so I can show you what it looks like on their end. So Storm sees the incident. They can click on it from the virtual agent, and then they see these steps here. Now, I'm going to pretend I'm Storm, and I'm going to try these steps, and they resolve my issue. So I'm going to let Abel know that they resolved my issue. I'm going to type over here, these steps solve my issue. Thank you. That way, Abel knows what to do next. So now let's return to Abel, our tier 2 agent, to see what he does next. So Abel sees that these steps solved their issue. That means that I can resolve this. So I'm going to click on Resolve up here. As I click Resolve, Now Assist helps to generate the resolution notes. It creates a nice, sweet summary of the steps that were taken to solve this issue. This is going to help agents in the future be able to solve these kinds of queries that other requesters have, especially for our tier 1 agent, so that it doesn't escalate to the tier 2 agent. So for resolution code, all I need to do is put solution provided, and I click resolve. Okay, and so now this issue is resolved. So this is great because it increases my productivity and I can get back to other incidents while I'm also creating knowledge for other agents as well. But I also want to create some knowledge for requesters in the future so that they don't have to talk to a live agent. I want them to be able to solve this issue on their own. So I'm going to click on Create Knowledge over here on this drop down. When I click on Create Knowledge, it's going to ask me what kind of article do I want to create. So for example, where do I want this article to go? I have lots of different categories, but for this scenario, I just want it to go to my knowledge base. You can also create templates and then select what kind of template you want it to follow. I want it to follow just my standard template. So I'm going to click Create Article. And when I create article, Now Assist is going to give me the option to draft it. And this is great because, again, it's saving me time. It's going to reduce the mean time to resolution for requesters in the future. It's going to increase their self-service. So I'm going to click yes, please draft this with Now Assist. Okay, just going to refresh that and then try this one more time. I'm just going to click yes, draft. I also have a quick recording that I'm just going to show you that great feature. Okay. So right here after I create my request, I'm going to click yes, draft with Now Assist. Okay. And once I click yes, draft with Now Assist, it is going to populate the article for me. It's going to populate the short description. And then all I have to do is click save and then click publish. Okay. So right here, we're going to see how we click save and then how we click publish, and then the article has been published. So I'm just going to do that here really fast where, it did provide my resolution here with the steps in ours, and it provided the short description. So it gives you the option to add anything else, but this actually did populate our steps. So I'm going to click save. And now I'm going to click publish. That means this article is now available to requesters in the future if they have an issue similar to this. So I'm going to actually show you what this looks like for a requester in the future. So I'm going to go to Storm, and we're actually going to try and find this article. I'm going to go to just my employee portal, and I'm going to try and see what happens. I'm going to say, let's just do data analysis pack in Excel. And if you look here, here's our article. It is already generated. So next time a requester has this issue, they will not have to go to a live agent. This is great because it deflects issues from going to tier 1 and tier 2 agents. It increases self-service and it reduces the mean time to resolution. And this is great because it's a low cost of ownership. You can quickly generate articles, assign them to different knowledge, different categories, use different templates. And so this is a great fast time to value. And so, yes, I hope you enjoyed seeing the different ways that analysis for ITSM can help both requesters and agents. Through this quick demo, I showed you how AI search and VA has a really low cost of ownership and how it helps self-serve more frequently. For requesters, it creates really better experiences. I also showed you how the chat summarization and the incident summarization helps increase agent productivity. It gets them caught up to speed. It improves the service quality and reduces the mean time to resolution. And then the resolution notes generation and the article generation really helps to expand the knowledge base for to increase agent productivity in the future and increase self-service. So I hope you learned a lot, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. So I think we're all caught up on the questions. So why don't we go ahead and hand it over to Gokul, who can show us a little bit more about the new LLM topic migration tool.
For sure. Thanks, Brian. I see a raised hand, Dorina. Someone wants to unmute her.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can unmute. Okay. Hi, Dorina. I think I've unmuted you. So if you have a question, please let us know. All right. Let's move on. Gokul, why don't you go ahead? Dorina, if you still have a question, can you please put it in the chat and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. And thanks, Laura, for that great demo. I'll pick it up from here. I'll talk about how to set up the Now Assistant virtual agent and how we can pick a couple of topics and migrate your existing NLU-based topics to LLM-based topics. So what I've done is I've configured an instance, and what I've done is install the ITSM plugin, as you can see on the home page of the, just making sure you can see my instance, right?
Yeah, you're good, Gokul.
Okay. Yeah, so on this instance, you can see the ITSM plugin is already installed, which is why you don't see the plugin on the home page right here. And one of the things that you would ideally want to do, and some of you may have gone through this process, if you are activating your ITSM plugin, then of course you would see the chat knowledge incident options here. You can activate them for the use cases that Laura was talking about. Now Assist in VA is part of the platform, and when you get to the platform, you will see the option, which is a single card, which used to be 2 cards before Washington release. And if you click on that single card, you would have these options to set up Now Assist in Virtual Agent right here and to activate the topics, which includes the Q&A, Genius results, and the multi-turn catalog ordering. Essentially, that's the catalog piece that Laura was showing you earlier. And then the third one being Now Assist topics, where you can basically add your topics, create your own topics, or you can migrate from your existing topics. Depends on how you are, what your use case looks like. I'll take you through the process of setting up that virtual agent in Now Assist. So essentially, you have this option to, once you click on that, and you will see the screen which takes you to the assistant screen. You can also access this from the conversational interfaces homepage. So if you type conversational interfaces, you can see that there is an assistance option right here, which will also take you to the same place. Of course, you have this option to create new assistants. For the purpose of this demo, I'll use the existing one, and you can see that the status of the existing one is off. So let's go through this process. Now, if you were to create a new assistant, it would still be the same process that you will go through. So let's go through that process and click on Now Assistant Virtual Agent. And you can see that the first screen basically gives you like an overview, and you can name your assistant. So for now, let's probably just take out the default option. I'll just name it Now Assist and Virtual Agent, which is basically my default out of the box assistant. I'll hit save and continue. You can see all the 3 skills are available here. You can, if it's not already active, you can activate them from here. In this case, the skills are active. So I'll click on save and continue again. I'll select all the, so this is where you would select all the skills which needs to be part of your virtual agent. So in this case, I'm going to be making sure all 3 skills are available for me to be part of my virtual agent. I'll click on and save and continue and move on. Now, this is the place where you would select where you want to make sure your virtual agent is surfacing. In this case, I will select Employee Center and probably, let's say, Service Portal. Now, if you were to have another virtual agent assistant, and let's say if your other virtual agent assistant was already activated in Employee Center, you would get that notification here that this particular assistant is already active in this particular portal. So if you want to override it, you can override it, and if you want to make sure you have activated it in Employee Center or Service Portal, you can select it here. I will click on save and continue. Now here you have the option to select your search profile. By default, it has this Now Assistant and Virtual Agents search profile. If you want to update it to, let's say, ESC search profile, then the conditions and the corresponding details would also change. For the purpose of this demo, I'll just retain it as Now Assistant Virtual Agent Search Profile. Now, this is a screen where you would brand your virtual agents. If you are familiar with our traditional NLU-based virtual agent, you had the option to brand your board. You have the exact same option here. By default, it uses the Now Assistant Virtual Agent. Now, if you want to edit those branding options, you would click there. It'll take you to the traditional branding option that you would see. So for here, if you want to just take a look at how the Now Assistant VA is configured, you would go here. If you want to create your own branding, you can create your own branding, or you could edit this. For example, if you want to update the, I'll just click on edit option there because it's a different scope. So if you want to update the chat header logo, you can do that. If you want to change the colors, you could do that. If you want to update the menu items and you want to edit the record for Now Assistant VA, you can do that here. For now, I'll just retain it how it is. So whatever changes that you're making, if you want to change the name of Now Support to whatever you want to make, you can change the chat header name. You also have the option to change the bot profile. By default, it uses Now Assist bot profile. And again, all those changes would appear here if you want to make those changes. Once you make those changes, you come back and make sure you are selecting the Now Assistant VA or the newer brand setting that you have created. Again, in this case, I'll just retain as is. I'll keep moving. And this is the final option right before the review where you can basically create your own chat experience. Again, you have a couple of options. In a simple view, you can just say what are the greeting messages that you have. So for example, if you want to say I am an AI-powered virtual agent instead of virtual agent, let's say you want to say I'm an AI-powered bot, you could do that. You can also select your fallback options. Like for instance, if you want to make sure every time you have a conversation that's coming to an end, you want to create a generic ticket or whatever option that you want to select, you can select that. It'll make sure the record producer has created generic ticket in this case. And then when you move to the advanced settings, here is where all your greetings and settings are. So you can basically update your greetings and settings from here. If you want to, let's say, create a new greeting topic, you would create that in the designer, and you can come here and update that to the newer topic. So you click on and make that update here. Those the newer topic that you would create would then appear here, and then you would be able to select the newer topic here. Again, for making any updates, you would go to the virtual agent designer. Now, one thing that we have not done yet is the creation of the topic. I will take you there, but I'll just quickly turn on the virtual agent, and then I'll take you there. Ideally, you would create the topic and then turn on the virtual agent. Another option is the promoted topics. I think I saw a question on promoted topics. We'll take that. But essentially, I'll also show you how to promote the topics once we select a couple of topics. So without much delay, I'll go ahead and make sure I'll turn on this. So now you can see that the virtual agent is turned on. It's a simple and easier experience compared to the NLU-based virtual agent that you can turn on your virtual agent right here. And if you come back to the assistant, you can see that the status of that assistant is turned on. Now, if you want to now create a topic or basically test your virtual agent, in this case, you have not created all these topics. So let's go ahead and see what are our options to probably use the out-of-the-box topics and then create, migrate your existing topics. So now as I come in, let me show you how I can probably just use the existing topics. So for example, I want to, by default, I think ITSM ships 5 topics, which is check IT, probably 4, check IT ticket status, open IT ticket, service disruptions, and escalate IT ticket. So let's say if you want to add, and this is the slide, this is the difference between an NLU topic and LLM topic. When you get into the NLU topic, you would see that there is an NLU intent tab out here. But when you go to, let's say, a LLM based topic, currently out of the box, it's named LLM as well, but you don't see that NLU intent topic or tab out there. So given this is a topic that's already out of the box, you can create a copy of it. Of course, I will just change the scope from global to analysis for ITSM so that we can create all those topics within that scope. There you go. So now I would duplicate this topic. Of course, you can just give a name that you want. For the sake of this, I'll probably just give the name ITSM LLM demo or something like that. Now you can relate it to your assistant here. So this is the place where you would relate your newly created topic to your assistant. And then the internal name, you can see that check IT ticket status LLM demo. Let's say you do not want that LLM demo to be your display name. You can just take it out. Here you will save it. Technically, you would also test the topic as well, but for the sake of moving ahead, I'll just publish this topic. Now let's just publish one more topic, probably password reset, which is one of the example that Laura was also talking about. So let's take the reset password topic. And then let's create a duplicate of that. And again, for display name, let's just take out the word LLM demo there. Add it to the assistant, save, and publish it. So now you have 2 topics that's already available out of the box that you just created, which was shipped out of the box. Now, let's say if you were not starting new and you already had your NLU-based topics that's available and you wanted to migrate them, you have this option on the right, which is migrate topics to LLM. When you access it, and if you're not able to access it, and if there is a permissions issue, then there's a specific role that you need to add, and it's there out there in the product documentation, which will make sure you have access to. Make sure the role, which are, let's say if it's the admin who's accessing it, make sure that role is added to the admin if you're having an issue with accessing this migration page. But this is how the migration page would look like, and it'll list all the topics that you have already created within your organization. Now, for a demo purpose, I'll quickly go to one of the topics and migrate it. And let's say I want to migrate the VPN connectivity topic. I'll click on next. It will display all the different topic blocks that particular topic is associated with. You will click next. Here you have the settings. Now you can associate these topics with your assistant, Now Assistant virtual agent, and you can also provide like a prefix or suffix depending on how you want to make it. You can also keep your current topic description. In this case, I wouldn't recommend it because it will basically take the descriptions from your NLU intents and create a description for you, which works better from our experience. And I'm not going to link it to Now Assistant virtual agent for now, because the topics that you're going to create would be read-only, and then you would have to make a copy of the topics to actually connect it to if you want to edit those topics at the end of the day. So for now, I will show how to edit those, how to basically make a duplicate of those topics as well. Here I would just keep the migration. Complete. There you go. So once the migration is complete, you have this option to click on review migration log, and that'll basically just create, you'll basically be able to access the migration log downloaded. And in this case, you can see that there is some error which says some topic properties couldn't be generated for some of the topic blocks. So because of that, we'll probably just not publish this topic. So we'll hold on. So you have this option to publish the topic right here. But let's not publish it right now. Let's go and take a look at that topic and see if we can make a copy and publish it. So we know for a fact that VPN was the topic that was created, and we'll look at LLM topics. And this is the topic that just got created. So now let's create a duplicate of that topic and say VPN connectivity LLM demo, again the same name. Again, I'll check out the display name out. And this time we will link it to the Now Assist. We'll go to the flow. And we know that there's one warning, but it looks like just making sure all the things. When you go, okay, that warning is because there was a topic block that it couldn't basically identify. So the best way to do that is to just make those updates. And if you go to the original topic, you'll be able to find that when you create an incident, you would just basically use the user. And for a short description, there is already a script that's available. I'll just add that script here. It's just coming from the existing out of the box topic, and we have an urgency of 3. So let's just save that. Looks like the warning has gone away, and then we'll publish that topic. So now we have 2 topics that we had got. We have from the out of the box topics that we duplicated, and now one from that we just migrated. Let's take a quick look at our assistant, and you can see that check IT ticket status, VPN connectivity, And then one more password reset. All those reset password, all those 3 topics are already available. The best way to search is because we have given it a name, LLM demo. It's easy to find those 3 topics here. Let's migrate a couple more topics and then we'll close it. So we go back to the migration tool. This time you want to probably migrate, let's say, 3 topics together. So for example, let's pick maybe, say, email issues as one of them. Let's say hardware issues and maybe troubleshoot slow computer as a third one. So we pick those topics and there's no topic blocks associated. It might be because this topic blocks are already migrated. So it identified that the topic blocks are migrated. Same drill, just go through. We will not associate it with an assistant at this point. And then of course we will migrate those 3 topics. Go, all 3 topics are migrated without an issue. And then again, we will not publish these topics. What we'll do is we'll close the screen. I'll just close this and come back to designer. Actually, there's so many screens open. Okay. So the topic, I think one of them was email issues, I believe. Oh, yeah, this is not refreshed. Refresh the screen. Okay. And LLM1 is right there. And here we will basically, so let's take a look at, okay, first let's make a copy of it again, because we want to associate it. And I will associate it with analysis for virtual agent. I'll just save it. Go to the properties. It looks like there are a couple of issues. Let's take a look at it. It looks like that create incident still has issues here. So make sure we'll add that as well. The short description will be coming from the query. Let's save that. And publish that topic. All good. Similarly, you could go ahead and publish other topics as well, but I'll just stop here for now and then we'll do a quick testing of. Before we do the testing, okay, looks like all the 4 topics that I have is now published. I can do a quick testing of all the active topics from here. So you can see that some of the changes that we made, like I'm an AI-powered bot, which is an experience that we changed. And then it has all the topics, check IT tickets. So you can see that the display name is what's being shown here. Now, one additional configuration, of course, which I said we can come back and make that is, now there are 2, you can see that there is promoted topics right here. So let's say if I want to promote this topic, you have this, you click on these 3 dots and you promote that topic. And you can see that promoted option here. And let's say I want to promote this reset password. I can see that those 2 topics are promoted. So if I were to refresh the screen and go back to chat experience, you can see that those 2 topics are showing as promoted right here, which basically you can toggle up and down depending on how you want to show it. So now if I were to do a quick testing, so let's say I go to the employee center, which is where we activated these topics. And let's probably impersonate it to another user, end user. And an end user comes in and they see, okay, I'm Ashley, I'm an AI powered bot. These are the things that I can do. And you can see those two promoted topics. Of course, you can see further topics down here. And let's say if I were to just type email is slow, something like that. It should provide the same experience that you saw with the carousel experience, with the email topic appearing as one of the first options. Oops, it did not. So let's give it. Let's restart the conversation and probably try something else. Let's say status. Okay, that's because I don't have an active incident. Let's see what else topic did I have. I think I had a VPN connectivity, right? Okay. I just say cannot connect to VPN. There you go. So that pulls up that particular topic with other options that you have here. And if I were to navigate through that topic, it'll help me through the process. Let's say it didn't work, and then it'll go to the fallback, giving me option to how to configure VPN devices. Let's assume this helped resolve my issue. That's the end of the conversation. So essentially that's how it works. You can add your topics from the out-of-the-box topics, or you can migrate the topics from your existing NLU-based topics to an NLM-based topics. If you encounter any issue, you can go into the topic and make sure you make the required updates, and you can just go ahead and publish those topics. That's pretty much it. Thank you.